Okay, so welcome back to the channel. I am actually away, I'm in Serbia, but the show must go on. So we are talking about the 83rd Golden Globes. I will be talking about some looks that I thought were interesting, some that weren't interesting. And if you guys want me to make a part 2 or part 3, comment that in the comment section below. But without further ado, let's get straight into it. So the first look is Timothée Chalamet. He's wearing custom chrome hearts. Of course, we're so used to seeing Timothée Chalamet in chrome hearts fits at this point. I mean, the Marty Supreme tour, we saw Timothée Chalamet wearing those orange custom chrome hearts fits. We've also seen, I believe it was the 2025 Berlin Film Festival, he wore this pink chrome hearts fit. So clearly he has this love affair with chrome hearts. Here again, he's kind of wearing this like full all black chrome hearts suit. You can also see some chrome hearts Tims. And to be honest, the thing about this outfit is that I like chrome hearts. I think that chrome hearts is cool. I think that chrome hearts is, I just like what they do. I like their pieces. I think some people have really cool custom chrome hearts pieces, whether that's a lighter or a custom chrome hearts set of cutlery. You know, there are people that have really cool chrome hearts things. I think that those are the more interesting parts of chrome hearts. I think that when you wear chrome hearts clothing, especially denim and vests, I've never really cared for it because it's just crosses everywhere. And then in the situation or the circumstance of a red carpet, it just looks odd wearing like chrome hearts Tims. Even though individually I like the pieces, whether it's like a waistcoat with chrome hearts hardware, the hardware is really cool as buttons, but I think as a fit, I don't know if it's to do with like the way that all the pieces are put together. It just kind of looks so out of place on the red carpet, to be honest. It's almost like Timothée Chalamet is not trying. I think we need to go back to the era of Hyder Ackerman x Timothée Chalamet. We need some, you know, Timothée Chalamet, Hyder Ackerman, Tom Ford fits, because this whole chrome hearts thing, I don't know. I'm not too sure about it, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. Next, we have Colman Domingo. He's wearing a Valentino suit. So he's kind of wearing these black trousers, very classic, a button up. He also has a matching jacket, and you can see it has these sort of crystal pieces embellished on the side. And I mean, he looks clean. He looks really nice. I think Colman Domingo always looks very suave. He looks very classic, like a classic man, like a very, you know, suave man. But I just think by Colman Domingo standards, this is a bit, I've seen him wear better things, but he looks good as always. So nothing really negative to say other than I've seen him wear more interesting things in the past, if that makes sense. But moving on, this was an outfit that I really did like. This is Teyana Taylor, and she's wearing custom Schiaparelli couture. So as you can see, she's wearing this black gown that's hugging onto her figure. You also have these really interesting cutouts on the gown that kind of cut across Teyana Taylor's torso. So they kind of expose parts of her torso. That's really cool. And then you also have the fabric that flows. So she has like a halter neck on the dress, and then there's a fabric on the back that you can kind of see flowing and kind of forming a sort of train. She looks great. She looks great. I mean, just looking at the look now, I think she's also wearing stuff like diamond jewelry, which I think adds a nice touch to the look. But yeah, she looks amazing as always. I think that Teyana Taylor has been really consistent on the red carpet. It seems like every single time I review a red carpet, one of the better looks is always from Teyana Taylor. I think that people sleep on Teyana Taylor as, you know, someone that wears really nice things at red carpets. Like, her name isn't mentioned when people talk about, you know, celebrities that do really well on the red carpet. For some reason, people don't really mention Teyana Taylor. I do find that odd because I think her looks do tend to look really nice. Next, we have Lisa. She's wearing Jacquemus. So she's actually wearing the sheer black gown, but this black gown is actually from Jacquemus Spring Summer 2026. So it's kind of this gown where the top part of it is transparent, but the skirt, or like the bottom of it basically, is matte, which is kind of cool. Very daring look, to be honest, but I think it definitely works. You can kind of see the sleeves also kind of have these, they're kind of long and wide, these sort of flowy sleeves going on, and there are tassels at the ends of the sleeves. To be honest, when I saw this look on a runway, I wasn't seeing the vision. I think seeing it on Lisa, maybe because she just makes it look so good, I actually see the vision with it, and I think it kind of looks cool. Like I said, very daring. Once again, it's kind of like Colman Domingo. I've seen Lisa wear much better things, but I definitely think she looks good. And I think she's selling the clothing. You know, like when you see something on a runway and like, I don't know if it's the setting of the runway or the way that they've styled the model, the styling, whatever it is, you just don't really see the vision. You're like, but then you see it on the red carpet or you see someone wearing it on the street and you're like, oh, that's actually really interesting. So I think this is one of those cases where when I saw it on the runway, when the show happened, I wasn't seeing the vision, but seeing it on Lisa, it looks a lot better and it's kind of cool. But moving on, next we have Charli XCX, who's wearing Saint Laurent. I think this look I did like. This look is very Charli X. She's kind of wearing this bodice that's feathered and she has off the shoulder straps on the bodice. There's also like a satin bow at her waist. She's also wearing like a very classic white skirt. I think this really fits her vibe because Charli XCX, when I think of her, and this might be a wrong assumption, but I think of Charli X as like the party girl. Maybe she's not really that much of a partier because I'm not like the biggest Charli X fan, but I do listen to some of her music. But I just think of like raves. People listen to Charli XCX's music, raves and stuff. So it kind of fits her personality to wear a look that otherwise would be really classic, but with the bodice that has, you know, the feathers all over it and it's kind of feathered, it kind of gives it that edge. So it's a classic look, but with an edge, very Charli XCX. I mean, you can't really go wrong with a look like that. I also think that the accessories are really cool. Like I'm looking at the diamond necklaces she has layered on her neck. I think that those are a nice addition to the look. Next we have Miley Cyrus. This is another Saint Laurent look, and I do think that Saint Laurent did have a good showing across the whole Golden Globes, can't even speak. So Miley Cyrus is wearing Saint Laurent. Definitely one of my favorite looks. This is kind of like a full black sequined gown that is like floor length. It goes all the way to the floor, featuring like really long sleeves, as you can see. And it has a very deep neckline that kind of almost forces your eyes to her necklace, which is like a diamond Tiffany & Co necklace. But I kind of like that. I've always felt like when you have, you know, when you're wearing something, whether that's a man, when you unbutton your shirt, or, you know, a woman, you have a very, very deep neckline or something like that. Having jewelry kind of helps because it takes attention away from, like, let's say your chest area, and it takes the attention to your neck. And it's kind of like, but it has to be done in the right way. If you wear a necklace that is too tacky or too out of place, too big or too small, it kind of looks odd. But if you have the right stylist or you have good taste, basically in this case, we're talking about stylists because obviously these celebrities work with stylists. But in these kind of situations, it kind of always works on the red carpet. So yeah, one of my favorite looks. I absolutely love it. It's kind of cool also seeing like the pleated pieces of fabric on her shoulders that kind of add volume to the look. Very, very dramatic, but I do like it. Also, I saw online, people are saying that her hair has gone back to that Hannah Montana blonde. Let me know what you guys think about that and if you guys like the hair, but I liked it personally. Moving on, we have Michael B. Jordan wearing a clean Prada suit. It's a brown suit with peak lapels. You can see him also wearing a button up and a tie. I would say this look is very basic. I'm someone that I don't really care for Prada tailoring, to be honest, on men. Even though men, there's not really much variety that we see on the red carpet with men. I think that brands like Tom Ford do more interesting tailoring. Armani does more interesting tailoring. I just think Prada, their tailoring for men is not really that interesting. So that's definitely the case with Michael B. Jordan. That has nothing to do with him. It has everything to do with like Prada and their tailoring that they do. So I would say in this look that the accessories are definitely doing the heavy lifting. Just looking at the look now, you can see like things like his brooch, his bracelet, his glasses, the rings. I think all these kind of things really add to the look and give it a good edge, which to a look that basically to me otherwise would kind of be quite forgettable. It's not the kind of look you're going to remember 2 years from now. People are not going to be like, oh, do you remember that brown suit that Michael B. Jordan wore that was made by Prada 2 years ago? It's very forgettable. So next we have a look that I thought was probably one of the showstoppers of the Golden Globes, to be honest. Audrey Nuna, who was wearing Thom Browne Fall Winter 24. So this look is kind of like, it's a coat, but it's cocoon shaped. And there's this nice oversized bow detail. It seems like in fashion over the past like 2 or 3 years, everything is going towards this sort of like Rococo vibe where everyone is putting bows all over everything. I don't know what's causing that. I don't know why that's the trend. I definitely need to look into that, but it's just something I've noticed. But anyway, I like this look. It's really playful. It has a playful vibe with, you know, the bow details, but I think the cocoon shape and kind of the overall vibe kind of gives it a more spooky and edgy energy to it also. And I think it looks very different to everything else that we saw on the red carpet, which is why I like it. I also like the really small added details that kind of gave it an edge. Just looking at it now, you can see things like the veil. She's of course wearing Thom Browne lace-up shoes, and then all the diamond jewelry, whether we're talking about like the earrings that are really big, like the statement earrings she's wearing, things like the rings that she's wearing. So this to me was one of the standout looks of the Golden Globes, for sure, for sure. Next, we have Emma Stone, who's wearing Louis Vuitton. I thought this was kind of a disaster, and I know this is going to be controversial because some people were saying that this was one of the best looks of the whole Golden Globes, which is fascinating. But she's wearing a yellow skirt and kind of like a matching crop top. And to me, the clothes are kind of clashing because the skirt looks like something that Armani Privé would make, but then the top kind of reminds me of old sort of Courrèges designs, that kind of like space age crop top, but kind of, you know, it's not completely on one side, it's longer on one side than the other, and it kind of comes out at the top at the front here. That's so Courrèges to me personally. It just, yeah, it just looks like the two things shouldn't go together. I like the color, I will say. The color is really nice. But yeah, I think Emma Stone most of the time looks great, but I don't know about this look. I don't know. But let me know in the comments because I know that this is going to be really controversial. Because some people were saying this was like one of the best looks. I don't agree with that, but that's what people are saying. Next, we have Hudson Williams, who's wearing Giorgio Armani. Once again, menswear, there's not a lot of variety when we look at the menswear looks, if we're going to be very honest. However, I did think that this was one of the menswear looks that looked okay. Yes, is it safe? Yes. But I liked, you know, the difference in textures. I liked that he had this sort of white sort of cream silk shirt. He unbuttoned it, which added an edge. It goes kind of back to that thing that I was saying, you know, nice jewelry with a low neckline can add a lot of stuff to a fit. Also, the cummerbund, cool. A lot of men wear that. Yeah, nice tuxedo. Nothing crazy. I feel like I'm pulling at straws here. There was nothing crazy, but it did look a lot better. Maybe it's the textures, maybe it's the color, maybe it's the fit, but I did think that this was one of the better menswear looks on the red carpet, to be honest, because there wasn't really much to talk about when it came to a lot of these menswear looks, if I'm going to be very honest. Next, we have Ayo Edebiri. Ayo Edebiri is wearing Chanel. As we all know by now, Ayo Edebiri is one of the Chanel ambassadors, so it makes sense that she will be repping Chanel each and every moment that they can get her to rep it. She's actually wearing a look from the latest Chanel collection, the Métier de 2026 collection that we've done a review on this channel. So check that out if you haven't already. But it's basically just like an off-the-shoulder black velvet dress. Nothing crazy, like it's not wowing me personally. I think that Ayo Edebiri is very stylish because her stylist, who also was styling a lot of people on the red carpet, is very good. I think Ayo Edebiri has worn some sensational looks in recent times, even as recent as, I don't know, the last Met Gala, she had a great look. So yeah, I just think that she's had better looks than this. However, I am excited to see what else Chanel and Ayo Edebiri do together because I think that it's a cool partnership. I like her style, I like her energy. I think she's really authentic. So I'm just looking forward to more Chanel Ayo Edebiri looks. But I think with this one, there's not really much to talk about. It's not like the craziest look. It's quite subdued based on, you know, Ayo Edebiri stuff we've seen in the past, to be honest. But moving on, we have Chris Perfetti, who is wearing a very vibrant blue suit from Christian Cohen. This is actually from their Spring Summer 25 collection. And he's also paired it with some Louboutins. Now, I don't know, because I've seen this look a few times at this point. Every time I see this look, I don't know if it's like Chris's energy, the way Chris is posing, but it's almost one of those situations where the clothing is wearing him and it doesn't seem like true to what I would associate with Chris, like based on like past red carpet looks I've seen. So I don't know, the look isn't bad. The look definitely isn't bad. I like the color. It's a bit more color than majority of the menswear look, so that's always welcome. I just think this would go crazy on a different person, that it feels more authentic to them or the way that they dress. It just doesn't feel authentic to Chris. To me, it seems like the clothing is definitely wearing him. So yeah, moving on, we have Amelia Gray. Amelia Gray is of course wearing this like custom gown. It's very sparkly with the Swarovski crystals everywhere. She's always wearing that brand. She's always wearing custom gowns by them in every red carpet event. Some people on social media were asking, why is she there? I mean, I don't know. What film was she in? I don't know. So I guess you guys can tell me in the comments. I mean, because she always wears something similar, I don't really think there's much to say. She looks great, as always. That's all I have to say about it, because I think that she's always wearing something by them. And I think the last look I wanted to talk about, well, it's kind of like a set of looks, is Priyanka Chopra and Nick Jonas. Now, people were saying that they looked in sync. I kind of agree, but I mean, Nick Jonas was wearing just a classic tuxedo. There's nothing really to talk about at all, to be honest. But Priyanka has a really interesting look, and why she has a really interesting look, we've talked about in the past that, well, I have at least, that J.W. Anderson, his red carpet looks have been very hit or miss, especially at the start when he started at Dior. I think that this Golden Globes, there was a clear improvement, and I hope that, just as a J.W. Anderson fan, I love what he's done at his eponymous label. Big fan of his Loewe. I want to see him succeed at Dior, but I'm definitely going to be honest about my own personal feelings about what he's doing. Just because I'm a fan doesn't mean I'm just going to be like, everything you do is perfect, if I don't think that. But this is a good look. This is a nice look from J.W. Anderson at Dior. She's wearing this sort of like satin bodice that's gathered, and it kind of gathers into a ribbon that's tied to a bow at the side. This is something I've also talked about as well with like volume and how J.W. Anderson is, you know, using volume. We know this is a very Dior thing. Historically, Dior had all these sort of like Rococo designs, and he would have bows on everything all the time. Very Dior thing, and everyone that has designed at Dior since has done similar things, whether we're talking about Yves Saint Laurent or John Galliano, loads of designers that have been at Dior. Raf Simons, all of them have done some sort of like bow. And J.W. Anderson is kind of doing his own version of this in an exaggerated way. I think that some of the volume in a lot of the dresses where he tries to do that have been very questionable, to say the least. But I think it really, really works here. It really does work. And I really liked this look. And I think she's wearing Bulgari jewelry as well, which I thought was really cool. It's loud, but it's nice. And also like, so she was wearing, I think, a choker and a matching ring. But yeah, let me know what your favorite looks were, what you thought about the looks that I revealed. Let me know if you want a part 2, and I will get back to you with a part 2 based on whoever you want me to react to in the comments. So yeah, thank you very much, and I'll be back with another video very soon. This YouTube channel runs on your support. If you want to support the channel, you can subscribe to my Patreon. You'll gain access to exclusive content that includes everything from my Patreon podcast, where I give a behind-the-scenes insight into the fashion industry, as well as a fashion book club, where I review my favorite fashion books. You can also check out my fashion ebook, which highlights the best fashion journalists to follow, definitions of common fashion terminology, and how to determine what a good source of fashion information is. The links to everything are in the description below.